Okay, we are now live on all platforms: LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and I think I'm even getting a IG here. Maybe. We'll see afterwards. But nonetheless, thank you all for being here for another week of our Get Funded office hours. Every Friday, we take some time to interview a promising early stage founder, and we're super excited to have Todd here today. For those that do not know me, my name is Daryl Frater. I am Senior Associate at Serac Ventures. We're a seed stage venture capital firm based here in Oklahoma, investing across the US. We invest in fintech, B2B, and SMB SaaS, commerce enablement, future of work, creator economy, and the gig economy, all with the underlying impact of increasing access to economic mobility and wealth building. We're super excited today for our Get Funded interview with Todd Baldwin, who is the co-founder and CEO of Crafted. I'm super excited to have you here today. Todd, please let's jump right into this interview. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Crafted. What is Crafted?
Yeah, 100%. I'm happy to chat about my background maybe a little later on, but would love to just maybe give you an overview of kind of what Crafted is and what we're doing today. So, Crafted, we're building the most efficient drive to retail platform that enables brands to drive in-store sales through any digital marketing channel, right? And to tell you a little bit about the story, and how we kind of came across this problem space and how we ultimately decided how to solve it. We kind of started out in consumer, building like a Twitch for cooking platform. And then from there, we kind of quickly realized that brands were actually more interested in like short form video, like the recorded live streams and the live shopping placements we were doing. And so this is in 2022, and TikTok and Reels were really becoming, they're evolving from just being an entertainment platform to kind of being like the go-to platform for getting your product in front of consumer customers, right? And kind of despite the effectiveness of this marketing channel, it was still off limits to a lot of people because of the friction in generating high quality content for those particular platforms. And so we built this marketing automation tool that essentially enabled brands to kind of remove all those frictions and get high quality content at scale out on those platforms, right? And because we had our start in food and beverage, because of the cooking days and live streaming, we kind of came across this much larger problem, right? And that's driving sales, from digital marketing channels online to like offline, like, sales points, right? And we learned about all the frictions and the pain points that kind of like, go with that, right? Across the funnel. And so other players in the market today have kind of focused on retail conversion through discounts and like, attribution through receipt capture. But, after having spent like 4 years in the space, we realized that the stage with the highest level of impact on this entire funnel is the very top, right? So being able to identify several target customer personas and then develop content at scale to reach those customer personas is the most impactful, but also the most time-consuming step and the most difficult to do at scale. And so we kind of spent the last 2 years building this automated solution that does exactly that, right? Um, and effectively, that has led to our customers, seeing 70% sales lift, doubling their ROAS, cutting turnaround times in half for their campaigns, all while, reaching 20 million potential customers for our clients. And this approach has kind of gotten us some big name customers like Cinnabon, Trader Joe's, Intamin's, and Jack Daniels, and got us to a little under 500,000 in revenue in 2023, which we're really excited about. And so the full vision of what we're trying to do is we're trying to build this full funnel solution that allows, any CPG brand or any brand to sell in brick and mortar, right? To be able to drive sales with market leading efficiency, speed, and scale. So I'm happy to kind of dive into anything that might be of interest, but that's a little bit about the company.
Wow, that's super exciting. So you did a little under 500K in revenue last year. Would love to hear, how exactly the customers are using it. How does the platform work? Walk us through like step by step how potential customers use it. So that way, if anyone that's listening today that might want to use it, they can have a sense of how Crafted work and how they can use it to help drive sales within their CPG company.
Yeah, so the overall goal is for us to be channel agnostic, right? To be able to produce content that, is versatile and can be posted on any, display network or things like that. But for the time being, we are focusing on influencer and paid social as the first two digital marketing channels we're supporting, right? And so the way that it works is that effectively brands come onto the platform and they tell us a little bit about, their product, what product category they're in, what retailers they're trying to sell into. And effectively, we then send a blast to our network of creators and influencers that match those criteria or whose audiences match those criteria. They come, they apply to the briefs. So you have like, very low lift on the brand side in terms of getting in front of the right creators. And then we've done a lot to do to offer additional information about the audience of those creators and influencers. And also, their audience demographics and psychographics and like that, so that brands can make an educated decision on which creators they want to work with. And then we built some automation tools to effectively help them, all the way through the content automation process. And then after, like kind of like the videos have been distributed, whether that be on, TikTok ads or influencer marketing, we effectively have integrated with some retail conversion tools that drive those viewers to a landing page where they can give a phone number or an asset like or an email where they can be nurtured over time. And then we also have integrated with players that have allowed us to do some form of attribution, right, through receipt capture, as I was mentioning a little earlier. So that is kind of like what the experience is like today. And over time, as we collect more and more customer engagement data, and we're able to kind of like hone down on, which customers and which audiences like have high purchase intent for which product categories at which retailers, we essentially expect to do a lot, to build a lot more in terms of tooling around audience targeting and specialized content over time.
That's amazing. And you said something about on average, your customers are seeing a 70% bump on their return on ad spend or ROAS. Tell me a little bit more about what they were doing before working with Crafted and how that ROI is being seen within the companies. You talked about Cinnabon, Jack Daniels. Give us some of those case studies of some of these great customers you're having and how they're seeing a benefit from Crafted.
Yeah, just to clarify, that was a single case study of a company hitting like a 70% like sales lift after using our platform. But effectively, there's a few things that we do to promote that. And the three categories I mentioned, right? Efficiency, speed, and scale. So in terms of efficiency, right? I mentioned that we effectively have curated this network of like ratings and reviews of creators that produce high quality content, right? And I think that that has done a lot to help us to achieve videos that are, getting 200% more viewers than other content providers or content produced in-house, and also 35% higher CTRs, right? The second thing is the way that we price in terms of our influencer marketing offering. The way that we price our influencers is very unique, and it looks more like media buying than it does like traditional like brand awareness marketing for influencers. And so by taking, the historical performance of these influencers and giving an estimated reach, for the campaign, and then charging a CPM based off of that, we ensure that, brands are effectively paying for like what they're going to get in return, right? At least at the top of the funnel in terms of viewership. And then the third thing is our focus on retail, as I mentioned, right? So it's not even just, can we get you eyeballs at the top of the funnel on like these platforms that I mentioned before, but also being able to, as I mentioned, build and like leverage some of these like retail conversion tools that actually get them into a storefront. And then also to attribute, that sale back to an individual piece of content, to an individual influencer.
Phenomenal, man. And we talked a little bit about the customer side of the like Cinnabons and Jack Daniels, the brand side. Tell us a little bit about the influencer or the creator side. We'd love to hear, how it works on their end.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, everyone on the platform has a set rate based on past performance, right? And so effectively when a new brief is posted, we have several people that have already been onboarded onto the platform and already have a rate. But we also have an extended network of like, 200 million creators that brands can also reach out to and invite them to join the Crafted network, get priced and get activated into the campaign, right? So what the typical experience looks like is that they would, like, as I mentioned, they receive an email in their inbox and they're able to log into the platform, connect their TikTok and Instagram profiles, upload any past work so that brands can see that before selection, and then they apply to the task.
That's phenomenal. Like I said in the beginning, at Serac, we invest in the creator economy amongst other things. And one thing I love about the creator economy, it gives people a new, unique way to earn income through being a creator and creating content, which is super exciting in terms of the future of work. Do you have any case studies or stories of a creator that came onto your platform and how your platform has improved their life or their, micro business as a creator?
Yeah, we've been in the we've been around this space for quite some time, right? And so there are many creators that, are contracted quite a bit, on our platform and are super highly rated by the brands that they work with. Um, and effectively, like what we're doing to improve that over time and to even improve their outcomes is, like I said, working to get that attribution down the funnel so that we can not only say that this creator drove this many views or this many engagements, but actually being able to tell how many sales like in store this particular creator did. And so that's something that's very unique to market, and that something that other influencer marketing platforms, other UGC platforms aren't doing at the top of the funnel. And then the retail conversion tools that I mentioned before, they essentially are looking to scale their efforts with the content and the influencers that we have at the top of the funnel.
Cool. Tell us a little bit about how you make money.
Yeah, so we essentially charge on an annual contract basis. So we charge, a software fee, and then presently we charge a usage fee as well, depending on how many creators you're looking to activate. And essentially, kind of as we go along, a lot more of the deals we are signing are longer term deals and are more software licensing focused than what we've done previously.
That's awesome, man. Well, super excited about what you built and how you're helping both the brands and the creators. Let's take a step back. I want to learn more about your origin story and how you got to this place of being the co-founder and CEO of Crafted. So tell us a little bit about kind of where you started and walk us through your journey of getting to where you're at today.
Yeah, 100%. So, effectively, I was really excited about, like new forms of media for like niche communities, right? And I've always been passionate about food and beverage. And so I had the idea to develop a live streaming platform that would build a community around food and beverage in the same way that Twitch had done for gaming, right? Around that same time, I met my co-founder, who was awesome, and she also had a very similar vision for like the future of content and like social commerce around food and beverage. And so we kind of combined our efforts and built that initial live shopping platform, which I mentioned to you before. And then, from there, we kind of realized that a lot of the customers that we had at the time were actually more interested in the recordings of the live streams we were doing for them, because they were chopping them up and like kind of putting them on TikTok and Reels and like using them for like marketing. And so we decided to just start focusing on removing frictions for them. We put up like a landing page, on like a Thursday with like this new marketing automation tool we're going to build. And, within like a couple of days, we had a couple $1,000s and like pre-orders before we even built anything, right? So that's kind of got us started down this funnel of like, supporting these particular retail marketers. And then from there, as I mentioned, we kind of discovered, this entire online to offline funnel where it kind of mirrors the experience, the funnel for e-commerce brands, but there's a lot more support and like, products that are being built for that online to online funnel. Whereas like there's this completely underserved like market for people that are trying to drive in-store sales from digital marketing.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats on the progress you took. I feel like myself, similarly, I started a live streaming platform for entrepreneurs and DJs because I saw the need as well. That was my startup back in 2020. So glad to hear, transitioning and pivoting from that platform to now this platform that you're giving creators an opportunity to make money by connecting them with really amazing brands like the Cinnabons and Jack Daniels. So congratulations to you. That's super exciting. I would love to now be forward looking. Tell me about kind of where you see Crafted going from here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that we kind of envision our trajectory similarly to Shopify, right? So Shopify effectively started with, some really great commerce tools, right? For checkout and like, products like inventory management, things like that. And then they kind of evolved to being like this suite of tools that, supported brands in a multitude of ways, right? Whether it be product fulfillment, logistics, marketing, sales, that sort of thing. But every single tool they built out from the beginning, like leveraged the data and like the customer base they got before to add more and more value. Similarly, we kind of see a very similar thing, and this is like we've already kind of started to do, right? We started at the top of the funnel, right? Started automating, content creation for high performance, conversions. And then we essentially started moving down the funnel, right? So integrating with retail conversion tools to, start collecting email and like SMS things, um, allowing brands to do some customer, lifecycle management from there. And then also doing, forms of attribution through receipt capture, right? Um, we see that process essentially continuing like over time. As I mentioned, we're looking to improve our audience targeting, like tools at the top of the funnel to predictively tell which audiences are going to be high intent for certain brands before creating the content and before connecting with the influencers. And then effectively using the attribution and the marketing data that we have, right, at a granular level to essentially inform, which channels and which pieces of content, and which audiences brands should be spending money on, right? And so going from there to kind of leveraging that data for demand forecasting, maybe also, educating brands on, inventory like management. Now that we also have an idea of demand forecasting in certain geographic areas, and kind of going from there to building a platform that supports, any omni-channel brand as they launch and grow over time.
That's phenomenal. So do you see yourself going more vertical or more horizontal in terms of like going to different channels, or do you see yourself going deeper within serving this specific creator and brand type that you're currently serving?
Yeah, so like I said, I think that, as in terms of platform, we aim to be agnostic, right?
Yep.
We know that the most effective form of content right now is video content, specifically like user-generated video content. I know that there's been a lot of conversation and hype around, Gen AI tools and what that can do in ad content, but effectively nothing replaces like, someone that has authority in the space and is an actual customer of the product, speaking about it like on a form of video, right? And so making sure that those videos are versatile enough to go across different like platforms, right? Like to be implemented into the retail media networks, to be re-implemented into, display networks and things like that is something that we think a lot about in terms of expansion.
Yep.
And the depth into which that we've kind of gone, right? As I mentioned, we have, built some tools of our own in terms of retail conversion and attribution. We've leveraged, partnerships with other companies that have done the same things to kind of give a ROAS, right? For the content that we're generating at the top of the funnel. And I think that that's what's really important here.
That's phenomenal, man. That's super exciting, and proud of the progress you made and kind of where the vision of Crafted is going. I would love to talk about your founder journey in terms of lessons learned. We have a lot of founders that also listen to these every week. We'd love to hear, what's something that you know now, being a few years in and, getting all this traction and progress that you wish you knew when you were first getting started.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest takeaway I've had from this experience as a founder is really the importance of listening to your customer and iterating. And so like I think that, in every phase of our product or of our journey overall, right? Anything we build has been in direct response to, a piece of customer feedback, right? The initial pivot from like live streaming to short form video marketing automation tools was purely driven by conversations with customers that we had at the time, pushing further down the funnel and integrating with these retail conversion tools and focusing on attribution. Also resulted from, our customers saying, okay, this is really great. You can drive, eyeballs with efficiency at the top of the funnel, but, what is the actual down funnel performance, of the videos you guys are generating, right? And kind of going forward, right? Like we have prospective customers that want to be able to use content to market on things that aren't paid social, right? Or that aren't influencer. And so being able to support any marketing channel that they want to, distribute content on is something that, came directly from customers. So I think that at every stage in the journey, as long as you are, connected to a real problem and connected to your customer, I think that you're going down the right path.
Great advice, man. I listen to a lot of founders and, hear their stories. And sometimes, when founders are pitching me, I can hear it in their voice when when they're customer centric or they're like investor centric.
Hmm.
And like the founders that tend to not really think about every detail of their actions and gearing it towards serving the customer, and they
Hmm.
start appeasing, to say and do things that they think the investors want to hear. Those are
Hmm.
the ones that I feel like don't do as well. When you really have an ear and a heart and empathy for your customer, understand their pain points, understand their goals, and you're building your company to aid and help them reach their goals, those are the people that win. Those are the people that I am super excited about to invest in and to partner with. And that's a great lesson that you learned. And it's clear based, on the traction that you're receiving that you have a heart and empathy for your customer. And that's why they keep coming back, both on the brand side and on the creator side. So congratulations to you and your team for the great work that you're doing, driving impact for both of those customer segments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Would love to hear, in regards to your history, in terms of raising capital, etc. Where have you been so far? Have you raised capital or you bootstrapped? Give us some insight on that. I have a little bit of insight as well as I was involved when you were in the BKXL program when I worked at Visible Hands. So I know a little bit, but let's hear from you in terms of like your journey, fundraising, and kind of the things that you did to get started and where you're at today with fundraising, etc.
Yeah, 100%. So to date, we've raised just under $1 million for the business. And so I think something that we're really proud of internally is how capital efficient we've been able to be, with that. We're now just over, $500,000 in ARR, and being able to do that with less than $1 million raised is something that we definitely pride ourselves on. I had a couple of profitable months last year, and so really doing good from a runway perspective, and we aim to continue that over time. And so that's kind of where we are in our fundraising journey. We've started to take some introductory calls with investors, and so I'm always happy to connect, with people that, really understand, the problem that we're trying to solve and connecting the online to offline funnel, and understanding that, we've spent time really digesting each step in the funnel, and we ultimately realized that the most impactful way that we can, provide efficiency, speed, and scale for this process is by attacking the step that is the most impactful and the most time consuming, most difficult to do. And that's something that, a lot of other drive to retail platforms don't have that approach. So that's kind of like our unique wedge into market.
That's exciting, man. Super capital efficient. You've been very thoughtful about the way you've been building your company, raising less than $1 million, but already at 500K in annual revenue, reoccurring revenue. That's impressive, man. Congratulations to you and the team. Any prospects in the future of fundraising, or are you fundraising now? Give us some insight on future fundraising goals.
Yeah, as I was mentioning, we are, taking some introductory calls with people that we feel align with our company and the problem space that we're working on. And so we are more than open to, speaking to investors on that front. And yeah, maybe there is a raise in our near future. Who knows?
Awesome, man. Well, y'all heard him. If you are an investor and want to learn more about Crafted, please reach out to Todd Baldwin and set up an introduction call, learn more about what he's building. Thank you, man. This has been an incredible interview. What I'd love to do is to, hear about who should get in touch with you. What's the best way that people should stay in touch and follow your journey, both on the creator side, the brand side, investor side. Please give us some insight on who should reach out to you and how people should reach out to you.
Yeah, so there's two different kind of customers that we're serving right now. So if you're an agency and you have a lot of brands that are trying to drive, foot traffic, through digital marketing, then once again, get in contact with us, me and my co-founder on LinkedIn. I would say that we also have some lead magnets, some retail like readiness checklists and guides to check out on our website as well. That's usecrafted.com. Creators, we are always getting inbound creator applications on our website. There's a page dedicated to creators there. And then for investors, just contact me at todd@usecrafted.com. Best way to get in contact with me on that front.
Awesome, man. Well, this has been an incredible interview with Todd, CEO and co-founder of Crafted. We're super excited to have had speaking to you today, man. You are doing an incredible job with growing and building your company. I'm excited for what's to come for you. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today. At this time, we're going to transition over to Twitter X Spaces for our office hours. This Today we have actually two sessions. One with Stephanie Rich, who is the head of partnerships, head of platform at Bread and Butter Ventures, as well as our second session with Justice Mendez, who is the managing partner at 161 Ventures. So join us on Twitter X Spaces for office hours. We'll love to have you tune in and pitch and get to know these investors that are speaking on our sessions today. But without further ado, thank you so much, Todd. We appreciate you, and we look forward to staying in touch with your journey.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.